collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Timeless Path of True Love reading. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons Mal, for short. Come here, you. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Joining the Circle Productions since 1998. Author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. Check it out. There's a link in the description box. Creator on Patreon, patreon.com. Join the circle. The Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal, and Fur Mom to 3 black mini panthers. This is Melchior, my youngest, if you are new to the channel. And you can't really see him because he's a black cat. He has a black background. When he pops up on this one, yeah, you can see him better. What booger? You're gonna help? Are you gonna help Mother in her divinatory work on YouTube, darling? Won't you just lay down, sweetie? Sweetie, darling, let me in. So, there is a video link in the description box, a preface to these readings, the Path of True Love readings, because it's too much to go into every single time, and I used to. I don't do that anymore. Being watched. And certainly there is in the description box all sorts of information down there about the Path of True Love and twin flames and soulmates and all that jazz. But let it suffice to say that we're going to do essentially what I call an augmented Celtic Cross. It's the first spread I learned after past, present, future, right? 10 card spread. But in the extended, we're getting way more than that. For this reading, we're going to do, I think, 15 cards. 2 Carolyn Mace, 10 Daughters of the Moon, 2 Whispers of Love, and 1 Matt Kahn Healing Mantra. And then in the extended reading, we're going to get a Kuan Yin Oracle, an Archangel Michael Oracle, a Divine Animals Oracle, a Blessed Bee, 3 Lovers Oracle, Simple Timeline, Past, Present, Future, as well as 10 other tarot cards, the Mythic Tarot, to complete the 8th chakra, Heart, Throat, Third Eye Crown, and the Mythic Tarot will be the last 3. Getting all sorts of energetic information, because the Path of True Love is your hero's journey, your healing journey, your spiritual path through your relationships in every lifetime to become the true love that we all are at our core, except for that pain, those wounds, those conditioning, a lifetime after lifetime, of which the soul is immune, but the human aspect of us is not. So, relationships being the means through which our lessons are brought to us, if you've noticed, over maybe this lifetime and others, then this is all about you. Now, Celtic Cross, first 2 positions down, we're going to have Caroline Mace Archetype cards. These are 2 people crossing at a crossroads, right? Coming together, whether you know them or not, whether you've met or not, right? Doesn't matter the shape, the form of the relationship. They're not all romantic, sexual, and sometimes it is incredibly general in part 1 here, and that's why on part 2 we go deep. Because if you can heal yourself in any relationship, it affects all of your other relationships, including your relationship to yourself, because you're the common denominator. And you want to help out on planet Earth right now with what's going on in Ukraine and all of that. Bring more love to the planet, because what else can we do? Unless you're in a position to do something directly, right? Unless you're really in a position to do something directly, then this is what we got. And let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me, right? True love conquers all, but true love truly conquers. So, you ready? I think that's enough explanation. Let's get up in this gig. It's a general read. Check your other signs, because this one might not be the relationship you most want to know about, but it might be the one you most need to know about in order to affect the one that you most want to know about, because that's just how it works sometimes. Both feet on the floor, if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from the divine through these pieces of cardboard, my chakras, through YouTube, through the internet to you, for all of our well-being. And I love my aqua lungs, my aquariums. I love you all so much. Please take a nice breath. A lot of explanation, but really important reads I'm discovering. So here we go. Using the Caroline Mace Archetype deck, I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the path of true love, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. I need 2 archetype cards here to represent the 8th chakra dynamic for these 2 crossing each other's paths on the path of true love in the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. Give me person number 1, the cover. What's the dominant archetype there? You want to do them both face down? We'll do them both face down. They're in the title. They already know what they are. There's number 1. And who crosses their path in this timeless path of truth, love. Reading. Done with those. Let's see how brave you are. The thief and the goddess walked in. A thief and a goddess walked into the bar. I bet I know who comes out triumphant. I bet I know. Because you can't really steal from a goddess, but maybe you can. The thief is I believe, the action family archetype. The goddess is the feminine family of archetype. 9 different families. Well, doesn't this just feel interesting? Now, the thief, if you only look at it through the shadow, right? The thing about archetypes, and Carolyn Mace, who created the deck, Sacred Contracts, 10 billion videos on YouTube. If you want to go deeper into all of that, I love her. But she'll say, if you just go straight on with an archetype, you miss it sometimes, right? It's like, I'm not a thief, I don't steal. That's why we're going to look at the shadow attribute and the light attribute. Because as toxic as this sounds, this is brilliant as it is when healed, right? The same thing with the goddess archetype. Well, as brilliant as it sounds, as toxic as it can be. And these are soul powers being developed, alchemized, that affect all the other chakras, what you attract, what you repel. So you can be visualizing your brains out, right? Casting, right? Prayer, meditation, yoga, Zen underwater, basket weaving, everything you're doing to try to manifest something. But if the electromagnetics are off, you see, because there are lessons we have to learn. You just don't want a 3-year-old to drive a car necessarily on the road. You know what I'm saying, right? We're all in a learning curve here. So let's look at these. The thief archetype. I'm pretty sure this is an action family archetype. The shadow attribute, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. Now, it is true, you might be dealing with somebody who has that vibe going on. We all do sooner or later. Someone who steals attention, someone who steals affection. It's not quite the vampire archetype, but it's a similar, because there's a belief in lack, and you can't have a thought of lack without a thought of fear, and you can't have a thought of fear without a thought of lack. And if you examine that the next time you feel either, you will see that as truth. Not just truth. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And the potential wealth of the light attribute is the wisdom that you've gotten through taking action in this world, right? And other things, right? You know, like once you really develop a certain skill within yourself internally in particular, like the ability to self-heal, the ability, emotionally, the ability to, no matter what's going on around you, still the mind, or like a true Aquarian, fixed air, rise above it all. That can't be stolen from you if you're the Aquarian. But then we got to look at the goddess here. Now we're going to start with the shadow. Exploitation of the female nature and form. Marilyn Monroe immediately comes to mind. I mean, there's a book about her called Goddess, or The Goddess. I forget which one it is. Forgive the grammar glitch there. But certainly someone, and by the way, nothing to do with biological gender, essentially, right? You think of a goddess, please. I've got goddess energy out the yin. Well, out the yin. In the yin. Whatever, right? Goddess energy. Any of us can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or lifetime. So someone trying to steal from a goddess from that point of view might actually get away with it if they're exploiting their own female nature and form, or maybe somebody else's, or you know what I'm saying. It's a general read. The light attribute, the feminine, expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Embody that. Right? So really, these two, if they get it together, again, this could be parent and child. This could be anything. We're nowhere near enough cards on the table to get that. But let's see. Daughters of the Moon Tarot. This is where it gets juicy. The internal world. Heart, third eye, crown. That's why the Goddess deck of Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Fiona Morgan. I've read this deck since I'm 19 years old. This is my third copy of it that I've had. And I use the color for camera. I have the black and white for personal. One for personal and one for magical work. Professional witch, baby. Let's see what hits the table. Breathe. I call to my goddesses of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the East. Oh, please. 10 cards, one at a time, straight up. Celtic Cross for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this read. Let's call them out. What's going on? Heart, third eye, crown, so they can really begin to sense which one they are, because there can also be mirroring, and I put in the description box a video from Greg Braden, the 7 Essene Mirrors of Relationships. Highly recommend it. A wise thing. It's long, but it's good, and it features Greg Braden's mullet, which I think is a great name for a band. Let's keep our sense of humor in this time of potential Armageddon. Although it's really the apocalypse. Armageddon is the war that happens on the mountain of Megiddo. Good omens, people. My goddesses, thank you for the wit and the wisdom. What's going on with this thief archetype in the cover? Heart, third eye, crown. Please leave the cards in my hand, beloved one. The Justice card. Yeah, she's firing full cylinders through me today. Ma'at. Weighs your heart after death. If your heart is equal to or lighter than an ostrich feather, I believe is the traditional Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's not like I read the original. Everything's translated. Obvi. But if it balances or is lighter, you get to move on to the next world. If it's heavier, depending on the translation, of course, one is that your soul has to come back and reincarnate. The other is that it gets eaten by a demon. I'm going to suggest that it's the former rather than the latter. But this is a thief coming into an internal balance. When it's a major arcana card, heart, third eye, crown, it's all 4 cylinders. It really is. It's all of it hitting at once, right? A real unification, a balance of the chakras, but also about, yes, karma. Yes, justice. Yes, the balance of the head and the heart, both eyes of Horus, not just one. I don't know if you can see that hovering over Ma'at's head right now. You see it, right? The woo just pops out at you there. Right? Brain synthesis, right? Left brain, right brain, central column, right? The thesis, antithesis, synthesis. And that, can also be about them really, really tuning into what's fair and what's just. With a thief, that's interesting. Well, there's a little bit of Robin Hood in there, huh? Yeah? With the goddess archetype, please, what's that look like? Feel like? Heart, third eye, crown. 2 pentacles, I like that. The goddess here is like, I don't know. The card of, interestingly enough, the word written on it is balance. The bull leapers, Amazon-like women, I believe in the Spain area-ish, the peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula, right? If I'm getting it right, I suck at names. They used to run towards these bulls, grab them by the horns and flip over them. I don't know if that's where grabbing the bull by the horn comes from, and I don't know if this is the origins of the running of the bulls of Pamplona, but it certainly feels like it could be. So we've got this goddess who's on the inside, really sort of like, I'm juggling this. There is a decision a choice. I would say a choice. Maybe not so life-changing, but a decision here, but certainly maintaining an internal balance in terms of their wisdom. Right? Earth element on the inner is about the wisdom that you got that cannot be taken from you, like the thief in their light there, because it came through action in the world, right? Dealing with the physical world. What's at the core here, please, my goddess? For the Aquarians and the Cross Watchers, subconscious influence shared. We've got Pan, the Emperor / Hierophant, in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. It's a feminist deck, so it doesn't overdo the masculine dynamic, at least the patriarchal versions. Here we have Pan, the Dion, the healthy masculine energy, as counterpart and partner, right? Healthy partner of the Empress Mawu in this deck, although mythologically they're from different places, geologically I should say. We've got a really, really strong thing here. We've got a really, really strong masculine energy, heart, throat, third eye crown for both of them is my sense here, in terms of wanting to build something, to create something, to control something, but with the balance kind of on both sides here, with Ma'at and the Two of Pentacles. This is cool. Like, this is cool. I don't get a horrible vibe from that, although I am crossing my solar plexus. We'll see. We'll see. That Emperor energy, the amalgamation of all the kings of the tarot. Where does this come from? What's behind them, please? On the path of true love. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. We're still early in. I wouldn't call this a predominance of earth element, but certainly if we're talking about the wealth that can't be taken from you, this is the internal stuff. This is the harvest, the Ten of Pentacles, right? There's a seed was planted and it has borne fruit inside. Wisdom has been gained here and the cycle of earth completed. So it's interesting that the goddess here has the two. I wonder what the ace was. Let's see. Let's keep going. What crowns this, please? My goddess. For the Aquarian collective, like hovering in the air like a signal, just waiting for them to make the decision, to turn on their cell phone and get the text message, right? To tap into the Wi-Fi, bring it into form. Whoops. 2 tens in a row, you got the Ten of Flames. Now, the Ten of Flames, the Ten of Wands in this deck is not the burden that we see so often, inspired by Pamela Coleman Smith's Rider-Waite artwork. This is the Hora. My mother divorced my father and married her Jewish lawyer to this day. That's why I call them Hera and Zeus. My mother, my father, I'm driving up there next week to see them for a week or so. So I have been to lots of weddings and bar mitzvahs, Jewish weddings and bar mitzvahs, and believe me, it's not a dirge. The Hora, it is a dance of celebration. It is a dance of community. So, oh, how interesting. So here they are, having a little bite to eat, right? It's like, okay, a potluck, now let's dance, right? That there's a fulfillment of desire hovering here, potential. I mean, you have free will, it's a crossroads. And this goddess might be like, I don't know. But the thief seems to be more like, all right, well, let's really look at this. Let's do this in a fair way. I like it. At least the potential of the Emperor essentially on the inner here, underneath it all. That's good. That's good. There's not necessarily a feeling of caution, but a feeling of fairness. I like that. What lay ahead of them on the path of true love, please? What's before them? The Star. Now you've got a predominance of major arcana, right? 3 out of 6. 2 of the other ones are 10s, though. So there is a sense here that there's not just spiritual growth, but something completing a cycle, but doing it in a balanced way, or at least trying to achieve that balance. We've got the card of the Star, to me the highest vibrational spiritual card in the deck, because the moon's here, the sun's here, and the star's way up there. It's celestial. You can't get more apolitical than a star, right? It is guidance, it is grace, it is hope, it is prayer, it is your connection to Source. So, you know, that guidance and grace, the inspiration that comes to you is key. It's what's coming. And that would make sense if there really is a wrapping up of a cycle of 10s, both in earth and in fire on the inside. Because then you have the infrastructure with the earth and the completion of the desire to then bring through the next piece of information. Before we had maps and compasses, all we had were the stars. You had to find Polaris, the North Star, and then orient yourself from there. Well, since we no longer need that, we certainly can see the star as that inspiration calling us forward. Sure, wish on a star, follow your star. But if you don't work at it, you're going to get beaten by people who really, really did the work. It's Terry Pratchett. It's a bad paraphrase, but you get the idea. We Free Men. The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett. Everything I really needed to learn about witchcraft, honestly, the soul and center of it, I learned from Terry Pratchett novels. All right, interesting cross. Let's look at the staff. My goddess, what is their lesson, right? Heart, throat, third eye, crown. Seventh position, often called negative influences. Well, those are the challenges. What is the challenge? What is the lesson you would have the Aquarian and or cross watchers learn on the path of true love? You've got some numerological repeats. In fact, all of your minor arcanas are now numerological repeats, double whammies in that sense. You got the Two of Flames, Mahueha. Now this really speaks to, obviously, this goddess on the path. And four doesn't mean the thief, the hermit may not be involved in this as well, because it is a balancing of fire. This is getting the internal balance together. The lesson here is about, well, what? Now that I've got the ace, apparently a new thing is coming in here, right? To go from the ace to the deuce. Well, what do I want? Do I want to do that or do I want to do that? It is a crossroads card. The Two of Wands you'll often hear called the crossroads card. So certainly that applies there, but it's a choice, not so much a major life decision, usually with a two. That's why just find your balance, both of you, that you have in common here. Do it as clearly, right? As justly, if that's the right word, fairly, as you can as emperors. That, remember, that's in the subconscious, so that's kind of what's being grown and developed here with this thief, right? The king of thieves and the goddess king, or whatever. Well, it's an interesting play on that, actually. Interesting vibe. So it's a choice, right? Like, oh, do I want a cup of coffee now or do I want a cup of coffee later? Is a choice. I'm gonna have coffee eventually, right? But it's my choice. It's my choice, and this is your choice. From the outside looking in, how is this vibing? Like if a total empath was to walk up to this Aquarian and or cross watcher, what would the vibe be there? The moon. I think I said empath. Never said that before. For the outside looking in. But it is heart, third eye, crown. It is. You could sense sometimes people's inner states if you've got that kind of empathy sensitivity. So there is some deep stuff hidden here. And those might be feelings. But also, I'm sorry, the card of the moon always speaks to me of intuition. This is the card of Yemaya. Look it up. This is to know that the path is always under your feet. You can't be off your spiritual path. Your spirit, no matter what you do, you make it the spiritual path by being the truth of who you are, whether you're aware of it or not. But it's hard to see most of the time. But if you stand at a body of water at a full moon, you do it at the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, the pines, the pines, the pines. I'm pining for the pines. He's pining for the pines in Cherry Grove. You can see the path is always under your feet, no matter where you are along the shore. It's always there. So there is some stuff that is occluded, that is hidden, that is a cloudy, probably with a chance of meatballs. So, that's okay. That's okay. But it really is saying that there may even be some emotional confusion around this. Okay. And that's fine. You don't need to know, but hence the balance, right? Hence the justice, really feeling. So it's going to take more feeling than just thinking on this. Sorry, air signs. Their fate and destiny, their fears and hopes. What they most fear is suffering their fate. What they most hope for is manifesting their destiny. And that is the alchemical process of the hero's journey on the path of true love. Please, my goddesses. Where are they now? GPS them. Where are they? On the path of true love and this thief, goddess, contract, excellent, Six of Cups, compassion, emotional balance. Yes, maybe nostalgia. Yes, this may be somebody returning from the past. Big shock. I've had ex-boyfriend, past lover flash flood happens so much through this pandemic. I'm like, no, stay at least 6 miles away. No, but doing my work as a result. There is healing here. I mean, because we are looking, again, at a form of balance. 6s are numbers of balance and harmony. So this is emotional balance. That is at least where the challenge is right now. There is love here. There is love here, but the key word on here is compassion, which means it has to be a balance of compassion for yourself and this other person. I mean, ultimately to everyone on planet Earth. But in terms of this this crossroads, that's where the fate is alchemized into destiny, the lead to gold, with that thief and that goddess. Last card down, at least for this, and then we're going into some oracles and a healing mantra, and then we're jumping over to either Vimeo.com. If you want to go check out the extended there, you can pay per view. But all of my patrons on Patreon have access. All levels, all tiers, all subscribers have access to the extended reads, past, present, and future. Thank you for that commercial break. Breathe. No, this feels good. All right, I call upon my goddess of air, the sign of Aquarius, powers of the East, beloved one. Please leave the card in my hand. What is the most probable outcome to the timeline of this lifetime for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading? A thief and a goddess on the path of true love. The Sibyl, the Ace of Blades on the inner means incoming. There's that ace. Saying, had some 10s here. Got one in the past, got one hovering. The star comes in. I think that a truth is coming in. And because it is a general read, and with the star there, I'm almost pretty sure that it's more coming in this way than it's coming in this way. Yes, it may come in, it has to come in this way first to whomever. It's a download, it's a new thought, it's a sort of truth, it's a piece of, but very third eye, very Aquarian. The Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi, huffing ethylene gas out the crack of a wall, speaking in tongues. This is somebody else writing it down on a third one. Transcribing it, writing it down. Guess which job I had? I'm sure. Oh, sure. That's probably why I don't like snakes in this life. The Pythia. It's a good myth, Apollo and Pythia. But, you know, the Oracle of Delphi is still there. Well, the structure. I'm pretty sure that ethylene gas ain't leaking out there anymore. It's different than ether, but it's like friends, maybe siblings, so to speak. This is great. I mean, for an air sign, I think if you hang in there, the end of this chapter, right, the end of this album, right, this scene in the movie, this part of the journey, I think a real truth is going to come in here. I mean, let's say major arcana cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 10 isn't predominant. So I'm really not even seeing, I mean, it's just interesting. You got 2 10s and 2 2s. 2 2s. You're wearing 2 2s. But the dominant vibe here feels really, really, really good. All right, let's use the whispers of love here. The higher selves of all involved. We're just getting 2 of these. One with the thief archetype, one with the goddess archetype. This takes a second. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the whisper of love you have for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading on the path of true love? We've got the thief with Ma'at, Major Arcana card of Justice, we've got the Goddess with the Bull Leapers on the inner. Two of Pentacles, balance, juggling. What is the piece of information, inspiration, insight most needed for both of them? Okay. For the Thief with Ma'at, the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. And I think that will bring the balance and the justness. Because if it's all up in the head, only in the head, the chances of the ego dividing and conquering, which is its job, until we love it into integrating it into unity, to understand that the only thing that is real here is love. And that's why, again, I don't know if this is romantic sexual, but certainly if this is a family member, they're hard to get away from. Not impossible. Not impossible. Not for a witch. Remember, they haven't been your family in every life. I know. Salty as fuck, but that's why you keep coming back for more. For the Goddess, we've got to appreciate this moment. So you've got a Goddess balancing this moment, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Maybe she's not so... She, again, we're not assigning gender to whoever this is, but appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love, so why rush? So why rush, right? So it is about the exploitation or the wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. And appreciation can be a very sensual thing. Now, people immediately associate sensual with sexual, and I understand that. I had those two things a little more entangled than necessary. But then again, the right cup of coffee is very sensual, right? Taste. Right? Even the feel of it. I put raw honey and half and half in my coffee, and bless it. I've essentially been doing milk and honey every day for decades. Giving myself the libation, so to speak. No wonder I don't look my age anymore. But this can be really that sensuality of sight, of hearing, of being together. I don't get a horrible feeling about this contract. And maybe this one isn't so very challenging, but then again, this is all on the inside, right? We're going to use the Mythic Tarot in first thing when we get over to the extended. But for the Thief, the only thing that's real is love. Switch your focus, shift your focus off the problem, from the problem, and back to love. And for the Goddess, appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love, which is the wise thing, the wise way of looking at it. Last card down, and then we're jumping over to the extended, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Doesn't matter which one you are in here. Work the mantra, you heal you. It will help heal them. One would think. Breathe. And I'm sorry, you just can't manipulate people by healing yourself. It's called unity consciousness. It's, what does Matt Kahn call it? Well, I mean, it's the divine plan at work, obviously. Passive manifestation? I forget the word that he uses. It doesn't matter. It'll come back to me or it won't. Breathe. Here we go. As I call to the Ascended Masters of the Path of True Love for the Aquarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Signs, and Cross Watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, please. What is the perfect healing mantra to help them heal, become the true love that they are, right? Undoing the guilt, the shame, the lies, illusions, conditionings, deceptions, and delusions that we've had on the path of true love. Really healing ourselves and all of humanity, and therefore the planet, and the bunnies and the kittens, and the rivers and the bees, and all of that too. Please, for this Thief and this Goddess contract. The only thing that is real is love, and they need to appreciate this moment. Ending with that insight, what's the perfect mantra? You've got my favorite card. Inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. I mean, that certainly could manifest in a family relationship. And this is a great card for surezies, but It is my favorite mantra. I didn't even have to look at it. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. Now, a thief and a goddess with that mantra. Am I getting a little Bonnie and Clyde? I might be getting a little Bonnie and Clyde. Just un peu Bonnie and Clyde. Inviting ecstasy. Now, I don't speak French fluently. I've just been listening to way too much Hercule Poirot audiobooks, Agatha Christie, and I am not mad about it. Inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. True. Yeah. When ecstasy is invited, you feel aligned and ready to receive all the miraculous and joyful gifts of experience the universe is ready to provide you. In other words, the universe is ready to provide you with some joy and some bliss and some ecstasy in this situation, but you have to invite it in, and that can be done with anybody else, without anybody else around, by the way, which is the point, not to be dependent upon somebody to hit that vibe, so to speak. And with that star card, I would say that this is lined up for you to do. Ecstasy acts as a cosmic green light that grants your destiny permission to enter. Suffer your fate or manifest your destiny. Invite in ecstasy. It sounds like a decent pin code to call it in. In many instances, pain can be healed and released once a healthy relationship with pleasure is established. Now let me see, how many people do I know that have developed a completely healthy relationship with pleasure? None. I don't know anybody who's got that, at least not personally. Well, the Dalai Lama, I don't know him personally, right? But that's the thing. That's what's on the table here. This can be done in a healthy way. It's what the path of true love is about. It doesn't mean that you don't get your stuff touched. Just saying. This mantra is ideal for increasing self-worth, elevating levels of excitement, and allowing bigger dreams. Now, I can't come right out and say this is definitely romantic sexual, but in the extended, I have a feeling we're going to find out. Let me put this together for you with a blessing. I do it at the end of every single reading. I know people click off at this point, but, you know, I'm going to give you the blessing anyway, because that's how I roll. That's what my guidance and my grace is. And then we'll chat a little bit at the end. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading on the path of true love, that the thief may shed light on their personal wealth within them that can never be stolen, that the goddess may be the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, that the thief really come to that justice within themselves, really making choices and decisions that are fair and just, and that the goddess may really work with this balance, right? Particularly appreciating this present moment, right? The only thing that's love is real is on the scales for the thief there, for the goddess. It's appreciating this moment of coming into balance. Because with that Emperor card underneath it all, sure, there is maybe something big being built here. It is husband energy, father energy, but Emperor energy, the balance of all the kings in the tarot underneath all of this, and it is coming from a place of harvest, perhaps even a shared harvest with these two, of wisdom equally gained. And if they have not met yet, that's okay, but they are coming from a very good place of harvest, the end of the cycle of Earth. They have the infrastructure to now perhaps take all that fuel of the element of Earth and come to the 10 of flames, the completion of the cycle of fire, the hora, a celebration done at weddings, bar mitzvahs, and bat mitzvahs, things that come after a lot of study and a lot of building, and a lot of creating, and a lot of divine masculine discipline, stick-to-itiveness to pull that off. So what's before them is the guidance and the grace, the star calling them forward, the satellite beaming down the GPS messages as needed. And yet the lesson here does have to do with getting clear on what it is they want in terms of what they want and why they want it, the why being way more important than the what. But at this crossroads, they're learning how to make this decision in a balanced and just way. But on the inside, at least how this appears from the outside, it is cloudy, probably with more than a chance of meatballs in there, right? All sorts of stuff swimming around in that ocean while it is cloudy, and yet there is a strong intuitive pull here that may defy explanation, which air signs don't like. But this is a very Aquarian looking card, this star, so it's probably going to come through, considering our ending card here, as an idea, as an insight, as a download. So they're best suited right now to be compassionate, Six of Cups on the inside, to alchemize their fate into destiny, the giving and receiving of compassion, but let your own cup fill first, then give of the overflow. And yes, this could be reminiscent of relationships past, and maybe even some present. So to take the time to heal, that emotional balance is really key right now. And of course, that would clear the air a bit. So through that cloudiness can come that piercing thought, that clear breeze, that clear, fresh, fixed breath idea, that idea that cuts through the clouds. Because the only thing that is real is love in this situation. And to appreciate what's going on here, there is an opportunity to grow and find love within and maybe perhaps without. So why don't they help them invite in ecstasy, because they are worthy of all the pleasure that their hearts desire. And that ecstasy coming into their energy fields would shift everything on planet Earth, maybe just a little bit, maybe just a lot of bit. And if every Aquarian or cross watcher were to really give their best on this one, doing what's right, being honorable, being healthy, finding their way there, understanding it is a journey, a hero's journey on the path of true love, then certainly may they be blessed with all that they need to do that they may heal, grow, learn, evolve, become the best that they can be, fulfill their role in the divine plan, and manifest true love on planet Earth in whatever form this relationship takes, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. And that's a power read. And I'm looking forward to part 2 of this. So if you want to, link in the description box. But if you like this one, think of it a global service. Aquarians, hit the thumbs up. Like it. It helps other Aquarians find the reading. That's just how it works. And if you want more of me, hit the subscription button, and I would recommend hitting the notification bell, because I put these out when they are ready. They could be at 2 a.m., they could be at 2 p.m. when the spirit takes me and the cats are being more calm. They are hitting, and certainly if you want to come play Trion on Patreon. I'm building a pretty strong core group over there, really giving my best and my blessed over there, and they get the extended just for hanging out with me whenever they want, once a month. Get paying me for it. I love Patreon, patreon.com. jointhecircle.com. Otherwise, whatever. Wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed of this. My fixed air signs, I love you. Hang in there. Goddess, thief. Sounds like Clyde and Bonnie. Hell. Farewell. And blessed, blessed be.